Live from the Export Beer Garden studio, this is the Agenda podcast for Tuesday, the 9th of April.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
We had a pretty full-on afternoon yesterday, Lane, myself and Di Henwood. Went out to see our mates out at Trust Motors, who are where we got the ute from. They gave us the ute to give away last year.
Oh, that's right, the Ranger.
Yeah. If you haven't, this is not an ad for them, but just go and have a look on your lunch break at some of the cars that they've got for sale. It's ridiculous. They got Ferraris, Lamborghinis. It feels like when you walk through their showroom that you're in some sort of Need for Speed movie, or is it Fast and Furious? Yeah. Like Vin Diesel's just going to slide out from underneath one of the cars.
Yeah, they're pretty tricked out. They've got like a whole room that's got tricked out 4x4s. Then they've got a whole room that's like tricked out boy races, and then they got tricked out utes.
Yep, there's like a European section.
Yeah.
They got some old chitty bang bang thing that you'd have to wear the goggles and the whole thing with.
So you got something coming out with you and Di and a few of the Warriors.
Yes, we met up with a few of the Warriors guys out there, Chance Nickel-Klokstad, Adam Pompey and Marcelo Montoya.
That's some big names.
Marcelo, massive gearhead.
Loves drifting.
Loves cars, yeah. Loves cars. And I don't think I'm spoiling the video to tell you that he scared the piss out of me as soon as we got out of the driveway.
Did he fully like when people take people out of the media on hot laps at the V8s?
Yes.
And immediately crap their pants?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he did that, but the difference is he's not a professional driver. Like if Greg Murphy did that, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that was
under
pretty
control.
freaky. But Marcelo Montoya, like I've watched him do his job. He has no care for his own personal safety.
Right, okay. So I'm looking forward to seeing these videos.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You've been thrown around like a rag doll in the back.
The scariest part is, I hope they got a good shot of it, but the scariest part I found out when we got back, because we pulled out of the lot and he just ripped it straight down the thing, sideways, and then it whipped around and straightened out. And I found out that was the stabilization in the car that did that. The computer straightened it out, not him. So he just literally pulled out of the driveway and was just like, with no plan as to how he was going to correct himself, and it straightened out and took off. So yeah, that'll be quite funny.
Oh, very good. Well, while you were doing that, I was dressed up like as someone said to me, why are you dressed up as Ronald McDonald? As I walked back to work, shot a video with Joe Jury.
Yeah.
We're launching something this weekend for Super Rugby with Deliver Easy.
Yeah.
And so that video will be out this weekend. So
I've seen the costume.
Yeah, you'll look at it and go, it's a mixture of Ronald McDonald and a slightly sloppier David Hasselhoff.
No? Sloppy Hasselhoff.
Sloppy Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
But we're launching something with Deliver Easy this weekend, so make sure you tune into the Super Rugby this weekend. We'll let you know what that is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for that one.
Yeah, you can bite me.
I was flat out.
I'd much rather be dressed up like Ronald McDonald than getting sideways with Marcelo Montoya.
And doing burnouts at the last year.
Yeah. Anyway.
It was good fun. Hey, Super Rugby, there's going to be a new World Club Cup. This has been in the works for a while. We've talked about it before, but it's inching closer to being a reality.
Yeah.
It's set out for 2028, which is, when's the next Rugby World Cup? So there's one last
3 years
year.
and 3 years in Australia?
2027 in Aussie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So then this is going to be smack bang the year after.
I guess so.
Yeah, which is going to be weird because clubs will be in disarray.
You'd think they'd do it they'd think you'd do it in the 2-year cycle between the 4 years of World Cup. So you think this should be next year? That's
what I would think. I guess next year is probably too soon for them to get it off the ground.
We'll do 27 then. What do they add?
29. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little confusing to me. I don't really understand.
So what happens?
So how it works is the top 16 clubs from around the world all play each other in a knockout round over 4 weeks.
And who decides who these clubs are?
Yeah, so there's I think it's 6 Super Rugby teams. I want to say 4 of the Northern Hemisphere teams, and then 2 Japanese teams. Does that add up to 16? No.
So we're looking at top 8 teams from Europe.
Oh, sorry, top 8 teams from Europe. Yeah, I've already written this down. Top 6 rugby franchises, and then 2 from Japan as well.
Oh, okay.
And that's how it's going to make the 16 up.
Sounds to me like Japan are funding it. It seems like they've got a higher proportion of teams through that, because it's funny because the FIFA Club World Cup, which is the same kind of situation where the champions of Europe and Africa and America and North America all play each other.
And our Auckland team goes over to that. Yeah.
That is funded by Japan.
Yeah.
So Toyota and Dentsu, the advertising agency, actually went halves with FIFA to do that. So this might be a similar model where Japan are like, let's do a World Cup version with clubs.
Yeah.
But the proviso is we've got 2 teams. I don't know. I'm completely and utterly presuming stuff here, but it seems odd that there's 2 Japanese teams.
Yeah, it does.
Where's the South American one?
How come the Jaguares can't get in there? And in fact, there's no South African team either. Oh, no, they play in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. Do they?
Well, look, I don't know.
Oh, they've got the Bulls, yeah.
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 Because they moved up there. I don't know. South Africa's just out on their own, doing their own weird thing. But I think this is good for Super Rugby. It's good for club rugby.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. And it'll solve the argument as well.
Yeah.
We always bitch on about who's got the better competition.
Yeah.
And so this will solve it. You say, well, you've got the better competition because you won.
Yeah, I think so too. As it stands, top 6 Super Rugby franchises: Blues, Canes, Brumbies, Chiefs, Rebels and Reds. In Europe, you wouldn't know any of these teams. I know the names: Harlequins, Leinster, La Rochelle, Northampton Saints, the Toulouse, the Bulls and the Exeter Chiefs.
Right.
I think this would be quite exciting, and it would introduce you as a fan of, say, the Chiefs play La Rochelle. You'd probably know a bit more about them.
Well, the Chiefs play the Exeter Chiefs. Chief v Chiefs.
Oh, little Chiefs.
The Chief off.
Yeah, it's like if the Wigan Warriors played the One New Zealand Warriors.
I somehow think that there's more mana behind the New Zealand Chiefs than the Exeter Chiefs.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's his face? Tawera Kurbalo plays for La Rochelle.
Oh, okay.
So that could be a little bit that could be quite interesting. But yeah, I think it's a good crossover episode, you know? It opens up your fans to the other fans, like Homer Simpson was on Family Guy, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so do I. And I think that can only be good for the game, and it just makes Super Rugby a bit more of its own thing, which I think is the biggest problem it has, is that it's just a feeder for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
And the All Blacks have their fingerprints all over it so heavily that players have to, sit out games and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it yesterday. Still haven't found a decent reason as to why all these teams have buys for these next 3 weeks.
I don't know either. Maybe did they have to elongate the season? Did they have a certain date they had to finish by?
I wonder if they're trying to occupy a bit more space to go right up to that international window.
Yeah, because the finals kind of ended June, and then the first international versus England is 2 weeks later. So maybe,
which is annoying to me because winter rugby's always been a winter game, and for some reason we're starting earlier and earlier and earlier. And now it's like, oh shit, we've started too early. We're gonna have to stretch it out. Just start later. Why? I don't know.
Please start later because we've got cricket to do.
Yeah,
we have to commentate cricket all the way up until the end of February, and then you just throw in Super Rugby in February.
Yeah,
and don't you start talking NRL because you start throwing games in mid-March.
Yeah.
So can we all just move back to winter, please?
Yeah, everyone.
Which is April.
We had a system. Yeah. How can we be like halfway through a season and it's only just turned daylight savings, it's just gone back?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, hang on, but why are we watching so many games with daylight? The whole point of rugby being played in the winter is something to get you through.
Yeah.
Something to watch on the weekends, You can play it under lights. I don't understand. Move the bloody sports backwards. All right, quick break and we'll be back. You messaged this one rather into the group chat yesterday. John Hopoate, I actually saw this video a while ago. This video came out, I first saw it about a month ago, of a road rage incident with John Hopoate. And I only saw it because he posted it to his own Instagram account.
Well, that's what got him in trouble, though, I think, because he posted it and then now he's facing charges.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, the story is it's a road rage incident. And somebody, I don't know what the guy did, if he cut him off, whatever. Apparently there was a bit of yelling. The other guy got out of his car, started yelling at John Hopoate. John Hopoate has never turned down an invitation to violence. And so he hopped out, Julie, out of his car. Apparently the guy that he was going against was 6'8".
He was a bit of a slob, though, because he ended up on his back, similar to what Ian Stables, the radio shock DJ, when he had a go at the Jetstar counter. The Tongan dude, and Tongai just floored him, and he was ended up on his back like a turtle, going, like that.
Didn't that somehow result in Matt and Jerry being on the Breakfast Show?
Well, yeah, Matt Heath got hired over from BFM into Hodaki because Stables was supposed to start on the Monday, but then said something allegedly racist over the counter when he got denied his flight for turning up late.
That's classic, like, been in a radio studio for too long, you forget that the real world actually exists, and you can't just say whatever the fuck you want.
And he did, and the guy came over and just floored him. It was so good. But, yeah, similar situation with that one. I mean, having looked at that, it's like the 6'8" sloppy rig who got out of his car and whacked Hopo-Wah-Te's wing mirror.
Yeah.
John Hopoate gets out, you'd be like...
Well, I didn't know it was you, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. He got dusted too.
I know.
And Hopo-Wah-Te posted it. Some of it I don't even feel comfortable reading on this podcast, and I've said some fucked up shit on this podcast. But basically, part of the Instagram caption he put on there, doesn't it suck that you got slapped and cried like a mutt, then ran and made a complaint, and nothing's going to happen because you started it, lol. Something has happened. They've been through court, and they basically both got fined.
Yeah, both got fined for disorder, which is what it is. Yeah. The fact that he probably would have got away with it if he hadn't posted something.
Yeah.
But I quite like that. Like, I mean, guys who get out of their cars and start yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if he hadn't got out of his car, Hopo-Wah-Te wasn't going to get out, drag him out, and beat him underneath that power pole like he did.
No.
So that guy, sucked in.
Yeah, absolutely. Go and follow John Hopoate, by the way. He is one of the wildest followers. He goes by the Surgeon 555. His profile pic is...
he should be the proctologist 555.
He calls himself the Doctor as well.
Yeah.
His profile pic is just a hand with one finger up.
Yeah.
He just goes on and on and on about how he's just trying to raise profile for prostate cancer, and he's trying to drum up I think he's got like a boxing match coming up at the moment. He weighs in on every NRL scandal on social media. To
raise awareness for prostate, would you allow John Hopo-Wah-Te to put his finger in your ass?
No, I wouldn't. I'd rather no one knew about prostate cancer than everyone knew John Hopoate put his finger up my ass.
I'm going to say yes.
You would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good story.
You'd let him
What'd you get up to on the weekend? You won't believe it. But I was with the New Zealand Prostate Cancer Society, and John Hopo-Wah-Te went 2 knuckles deep.
Do you know what I've got in common with 3 NRL players? John Hopo-Wate's put his finger up my ass.
But I mean, look, I'm saying that he would have to do it, a bit more hygienically, and probably a bit more lubricant than he did in the NRL.
Oh, he's definitely trimming his nails.
He's got a glove on. It's a half a tube of KY.
Yeah.
I'm not talking he's going to raw dog me with a pair of Canterbury rugby shorts.
Right.
So I'm saying, look, if it's raising awareness, I'm going to say, John, do your worst.
Could this be the new thing for the ACC as we go around with John Hopoate, and this is our big fundraiser thing?
Yeah.
And he will examine some of the most famous sporting people around the country.
Do you know what? I reckon there's a lot of people out there who would quite happily have Hopo-Wate's finger up their date to raise awareness for prostate cancer for men. It's a killer.
Yeah, it is a killer.
Yeah, and look, if it means one man goes in and gets his prostate checked.
Yeah.
Because once you hit 40, you got to get your PSA bloods done. You got to check that out. Otherwise, Or you could just get John Hopo-Wate's big sausage finger up your rectum.
Do we, in this scenario, do we train him to actually know what he's looking for?
No.
It's purely a PR stunt.
It's PR. Like, you can line up, and he's got just I'm thinking a tub of lube, like a massive box of gloves. You turn up, you bend over, he goes, slap, put, that slap of the spandex glove.
Yes.
Lube, boom, there you go. Well done, mate, have a good day. Thanks, John.
Meanwhile, you're up on stage interviewing them, and they're sort of bent over a table with a curtain so people can't see what's going on.
We used to see their face where they go, whoa.
Like a Japanese game show.
And then they get a signed certificate, authentication that they have John Hopo-Wate's authentic index finger up their bum.
Yep.
Here's your certificate.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you very much for your service.
The problem I think with that is I feel like one of the big problems is it's such a deterring method of having the finger up the back door. That's why a lot of men put it off.
Well, the thing is, this is the big myth. You don't actually need to.
So that makes what we're doing with John Hopoate so much
But it raises awareness, though, of the prostate, because we have to do, for a while, you get your PSA done on your bloods, and as your PSA...
Public service announcement.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it stands for, but it's...
putting shit in your ass.
It reaches a certain level. That's why you should get your bloods done every year, because then you get a baseline, and you can see if it's starting to rise, then that's when you need to get a finger in your butt.
Okay.
You don't just need to get a finger in your butt straight away. Eventually you will.
What's my doctor up to?
Yeah, well, you need to be suspicious when he's got both hands on your shoulders. Okay? That's when you're like, okay, this is a bit unnecessary.
Oh, I thought that was just to relax me. I suppose it was.
But I'm for it because I originally had an idea years ago when the America's Cup was on in New Zealand, and it was a big thing. And basically, the Hauraki golf was just awash with middle-aged men on the piss.
Yeah.
And I had this great idea, and I went to Prostate New Zealand. And they laughed me out of the thing. I wanted to do this thing called the NZ.and Prostate, which was a boat that went round and pulled up next to launches, and guys could get on and get their prostate examined.
Right.
And then we just moved to the next boat. So it was a way of just, bringing the mountain to Muhammad with the NZ.and Prostate. And it was going to have this huge finger out the top of it, like a mast that was going to go around and do it. But I didn't get much uptake.
Nah.
So, but if you had Hopo-Wah-Te on there, if you had John Hopoate at Go Hard Media Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I reckon there'd be a queue of dudes ready to drop their pants.
I was going to say, if you took him out on a boat, I don't think you'd get much uptake on that. A couple of issues with getting your prostate checked on a boat. Very rocky.
Yes.
You're sort of going back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's why obviously it never got off the water.
Yeah, and you're basically boarding another vessel with John Hopoate's finger at the ready. Mount Smart Stadium, you probably have a little bit more luck if you're just like, look, you're going to get a free 4 and 20 pie, you get an export ultra, and he might find something back there.
You'll get an authenticated certificate saying you have had the famous Hopo-Wah-Te.
And then we all give them those big fan finger things, the big foam fingers.
Yep.
And so everyone's sitting in the crowd. It's like,
only the people who get it done, though.
Yeah.
So you look at, and then you look at another guy and go, how do you go? He goes, he was gentle.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you just got these, but you don't tell anyone outside the stand what's going on.
No, you just a silent nod. Yeah.
So the blogger Roach and the commentators have to be like, oh, look, isn't this amazing watching the Kiwis getting behind their team? It's like, well, you knew what was going on there. Yeah.
They've been backing into Hopo-Wah-Te's finger all day.
And not telling anyone about it. On rugby league as well, Latrell's 3-week ban has been made official. This is kind of one of these frustrating things that happens. I feel like it happens to the Warriors, but I can't tell if it's real or not because, you've got beaten dog syndrome where you're like, does this just happen to us? Does it happen to everyone? He's been banned for 3 weeks. He did 2 or 3 things that each of them alone could have justified a 3-week ban.
Yeah.
He elbowed Sean in the head. Like, what happens if he breaks Sean's jaw there and Sean's out for half the season? That's the Warriors' season done. And I don't think that we can just judge things based on the outcome. But elbowing someone in the chin. Then he tipped up Tohu Harris. It was a spear tackle. He tackled Jackson Ford in the head on his way down to score a try.
Yeah.
That one didn't even get put on report because whenever you can fuck dudes up when they're scoring a try and nothing happens because they score the try, they celebrate and they move on.
Yeah.
And the ref knows that nothing's ever going to come of it because the team who it happened to are happy.
So Richard Lowe would have been a great weapon to have after he famously rearranged Paul Carrozza's face after he scored that try.
Yeah, exactly. You can do all that kind of shit in the efforts to try and stop a tackle. And now there's all these stories about they're going to sack the coach, that the coach has lost the locker room, that he gives Latrell a different set of rules than he does to the rest of the team. And I just think it's great that the Warriors are ruining entire franchises now.
Yeah, that's good because that's what they used to do to us.
Yeah, that's right. We now, if it used to go from, geez, if you play the Warriors, there could be a banana peel and you might slip up, to now, if you play the Warriors, your franchise might be on the line here. You might have to sack your coach afterwards.
Yeah.
Your star player may go missing for 3 weeks.
You'll lose the shed if you come play in our backyard. You'll lose the shed.
Just bear in mind what you're putting at stake when we play the Manly Seagulls. It's like Tom Trebojevic could be out for another month.
See you, mate.
Yeah, and then your coach could be gone. I can't even remember who the hell the coach is now.
Not Desi Hasler?
No, they sacked him. He's at the Titans now, who also suck. So it's just good. I'm really enjoying these last 2 years. And just the way that the Australian media started to talk about the Warriors.
Also, big thanks to NZ. They've sent us some new Warriors jerseys because we had some old jerseys which we'd always wear during the commentary, which, to be honest, I didn't even notice, but it had the old Vodafone logo, which obviously doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And they were like, you guys have got old jerseys. We want some new ones. We're like, hell yeah. So they've sent us a couple of training jerseys.
Well, last year, we couldn't even get the jerseys. So they didn't send us any. And then we went online and they were sold out.
I think Dynasty they've come in hot this first season of merch and gone and seen the rise.
Yeah.
What a perfect time to take over the Warriors merchandise contract.
Yeah.
With Dynasty. is right at the apex of popularity. And like you were saying, last year, they just didn't see it coming. They didn't see the up the wires phenomenon. They didn't see, and you couldn't get any kit.
Yeah.
So I think Disney have gone, you know what? We're going to go way over the top. So you can get all sorts of great kit.
They seem a little bit more agile as well, Dynasty.
Yeah.
Like they'll refresh their stocks. They never seem to be running out. Again, not an ad, but shout out to them for sending us some jerseys. They look good as well. A little bit of golf. PGA golfer Ludwig Aberg. Do you know this guy?
Yes, only purely through the video I've watched.
Yes. His driver head came off while he was playing this week, and he still hit the green.
It was a par 4. He drove a par 4.
To within about 10 feet.
I wanted to know how far his driver's head went because it came flying off. Must have been. He obviously connected, and then it just snapped off there. But it was
maybe because I know that those guys on tour, they swap the heads off quite often.
Right.
So every day almost, or every tournament, they'll basically have the club made to their specs. So I wonder if either they just didn't glue it or there was some sort of like...
Didn't tighten it on properly.
Yeah, didn't tighten it on properly.
I love it because that's the kind of scene you see out at Chamberlain and stuff.
All the time.
Or at the driving range, I see it all the time.
I've seen Chris Key do it twice.
Off the head off his driver.
The head off his driver, yeah.
Yeah, and then that confused look on your face because all of a sudden it's very light and you just left with a cattle prod. And you're like, oh, that was the look on his face, old Ludwig Aberg. He's just like, what happened?
Well, but the beautiful thing that he didn't have to deal with was the sickening feeling of, I'm going to have to buy a new driver now.
Yeah, true.
How am I going to justify this? Because that's a good couple of $100 at least, which is what I saw Chris Key do. I just can't understand how it didn't. Like if the impact of it broke it off, how did it not shank way out into the?
No, it can't have been. It must have been like after that, and it flexed and just flew off. He was pretty lucky, but it was a great drive. It was within about 6 feet of the pin.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I didn't know this about this guy. He last October was in the Ryder Cup, and at that stage had never played on the PGA Tour before.
Wildcard.
Yeah, I think he's the only dude to have ever done that, to be on the Ryder Cup and not play on the PGA Tour, which I sort of thought, is that just the Americans that you have to have the point system?
I don't know.
Oh, no, because you can pick a dude, can't you? The captains get wildcard selections, so it must have been that. Phil Mickelson, by the way, was asked about Tiger Woods and his act of giving up sex in an effort to focus on the Masters. Phil responded to the reporter saying, Georgia and Florida hookers better watch out when he misses the cut.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
That is a great line.
A bit of hate between those two. Also, Phil Mickelson, he has fuck you money, and he doesn't give a shit anymore.
Totally.
Yeah.
I used to love those. Remember those kind of weird made-for-TV rounds that him and Tiger Woods did, where they were putting $100,000 on each hole, and
they were playing with a NFL quarterback or something.
Yeah, and fully mic'd up, and Phil Mickelson goes, $100,000 who wins this hole, and Tiger's like, sure.
I love those too. I think they were very interesting. And the one that I watched, it was at night, and Tiger was just every single opportunity he got, because there were big lights, like a footy field, he'd just stand so that his shadow was over the ball every single time. It's like, what? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, didn't know. All right, I wanted to get into this one very quickly. This is a little hypothetical scenario that I think maybe you came across on social media. If you were randomly dropped into a pro sporting event with your entire country's hopes and dreams on the line, would you most want to attempt a free throw, a penalty kick? They're saying a 25-yard field goal. Let's go a conversion from the 22.
So a penalty kick, you're talking soccer, football, penalty kick?
Yes, yeah.
A 25-yard rugby conversion.
Yeah, or a 6-foot putt.
Oh. Oh man, so I'm not going for the penalty kick purely because goalie's gonna read that.
Yeah.
The free throw,
or with the penalty kick, do you do it so that if you miss, you've at least got a thing that you can say, well, it was going to go in, but he got there.
Yeah, I'm going to go for. I'll tell you what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for the 25 meter conversion.
Yeah,
because it's straight in front of the sticks.
Yes.
Yeah. The 6-foot putt, I'd massive yips. I'd fuck that up.
Yep.
The free throw, I think I'd choke as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be, I reckon I can back myself to just nudge over a 25-meter
conversion. Yeah. I don't mind.
Maybe we go into the park and have a go.
Yeah, we should.
But there should be consequences to this. Like if you miss the free throw, I don't know.
We'll just have Hopo-Wah-Te on the sideline as a consequence. with no lube. I think I'm going the free throw.
Are you?
Yeah, that's the thing I've done the most in the last few years out of these.
Yeah.
Through lockdown, I'd go across to the park and kick a few goals, but I've got Beavers World Cup winning boots.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That didn't help me at all. But, yeah, no, I think I'm going for the free throw.
Maybe we should try that out because we can do all those pretty easily.
Yeah.
But there needs to be something on the line like maybe like a week off work or a lunch.
Yeah.
Something. So, if you were randomly dropped into a restaurant and had to pay for it, what would you to get out of the bill?
What if we rounded up a bunch of people? So if we asked all of the people in the ACC and we said, all right, what one do you reckon you could do? I reckon we'd find someone who thinks they could hit a free throw. It's me, probably. We would find someone who thinks they could hit a 25-yard field goal.
Yeah, Paul Ford would back himself there. He's a football player.
The penalty kick, you mean, Paul Ford. Yeah, you think you could go with a field goal. And then someone who thinks they could drain a putt, which would be just about anyone else in the ACC.
Yeah.
And then we put a bit of cash on the line and people get to jump
a
on.
pot.
Yeah, but a pot on each team. So if your dude does it, everyone that got into that, voted for that, they win the cash. I think that'd be...
Yeah, this is turned into some gambling. Degenerates.
Thank you for joining this live brainstorm. One more quick ad. We'll be back with Yours Please.
Yours Please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
You know the drill, microphone button on the old iHeartRadio app. Caller Yours Please.
Yeah, g'day lads. Following on from Matt Heath's infamous Pinot Noirs, why couldn't you have the Sideways, the whiskey lime and sodas, a crisp, refreshing Pilsner, or a dirty old Lagua? I don't know, just a thought. Cheers, boys. Keep it up.
The Lagua.
I like the Lagua.
The Lagua, there already is quite a few Laguas, but you've put a Fatwa on the Pinot Noirs, haven't you?
Yeah, well, Heath bombed a long-defunct group chat that I didn't realise I was even in with a screenshot of Tony Street's comment on his post saying she's recently converted from a gin noir to a Pinot Noir. A gin noir is just a terrible...
There's not really much play on that one.
Pun. And then Heath put into our group chat, Street is a Pinot Noir. And I said, I'm placing a fatwa on the Pinot Noirs.
I don't blame you. I don't. It's one group I don't want to take off.
No.
And I just think that they're inviting a little bit of hatred.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
It's never been what the Warriors are about. It's also reeks of Fair Weather Sailors.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they will not be, if we go, in the next few years, if we go through another lean time,
that'd be quite good.
Them.
That'd be quite good, though, to rename the bandwagon as the Pinot Noirs.
Yeah.
So if you leave the game early, like I did, someone just going, get out of here, you Pinot Noir.
Yeah, yeah.
But not just that, I reckon it can go beyond sitting and drinking an expensive bottle of red wine while watching it to just being, you're just a general piece of crap.
Yeah.
That'd be quite good.
You're just that kind of person.
Get out of here, mate. You're a Pinot Noir.
I don't even think we could explain what that is to the average Warriors fan. If we went out to Mount Smart Stadium and tried to explain what a Pinot Noir was...
I think you'd need to do it with a picture. So you'd get a picture of Matt Heath and Mike Hosking in Warriors jerseys, Warriors hats, which they've no doubt got for free, and just have them on the couch drinking a glass of red wine. And that for them, they go, oh, that's a Pinot Noir.
Oh,
Pinot Noir.
It's cultural appropriation. Yeah. Is what it is. You've got your sailing. Go and watch that, Let us have this.
You got your motorsport.
Yeah. It's gentrification. You like Point Chevalier all of a sudden.
Get out of here. Yeah. Oh, you like Te as well.
Yeah. It's gentrification. To be fair, I just bought a townhouse in Te.
Yeah, you go.
So I can shut up. Got another one here. Caller, yours please.
Afternoon, fellas. It's your mate D Lane with an E here. Just been catching up on last week's pods, and I've got a Warriors chant for you, namely for Bunty Afoa.
Do it.
I've flogged the chant, just changed the names, and it goes like, oh, Bunty Afoa, you are the love of my life, Bunty Afoa. I'd let you shag my wife, Bunty Afoa. I want curly hair too. Cheers.
I don't know the song. What's the song?
He got to the chorus. I love you, babe. Is that one? I love you, Bunty.
Okay, pitchy.
I love you, Bunty. that's not too bad.
Shake my what?
I
Yeah.
love you, Bunty.
I want curly hair too.
I thought he was going to go for the Bunty for.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would
Bunty for. That is good.
Yeah. That works.
And it's easy. You know, that's one chant that we can do really well. We still do.
Why sucking
By
the hole?
sucking the hole. He hasn't played for 5 years in New Zealand.
No. Down there at Forsyth Bar.
Oh, Bunty for. Right, where's Mark Peard when you need him?
Yeah.
Get on that microphone.
old Bunty Afoa going.
Bunty Afoa, Manly Seagulls this Saturday, 5 o'clock.
Mark Peard, make it happen.
Make it happen.
You're the only man. You're the only man that can make it happen. Have you seen this eclipse that's going on over in the States at the moment?
Oh, they're freaking out about it.
It's all that's on my social media feed at the moment.
Yeah, and they've called it like a state of emergency on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. There's so many tourists turned up. Why the fuck are they turning up? What, are they running away?
I don't know. Is there that they want to see the falls during the? Are they sacrificing virgins at the top of
I don't know. It was just a weird headline. I didn't read details into it. They said, but because there's so many visitors, I'm
Right.
like, what is that the central part of the? Is that where the eclipse is best going to be sighted? I don't know.
Well, I think the thing with this eclipse is that you can see it from sea to shining sea over there in the US. Like it's usually you've just got to be in a certain specific point on Earth.
Yeah.
Have we ever had a solar? Can you recall a solar eclipse?
I can always remember like some sort of partial one
Yeah.
that happens every now and then where it goes a bit dark.
Yeah. Or there's a lame ass lunar eclipse.
Yeah. I mean, I
sucks.
can remember Halley's Comet as a kid.
Can you?
Yeah, I think I was probably about 8 or 9 years old because I remember my parents got me up at some ungodly hour and we looked up and I was like, it looks like a star's on fire. Like it looked like a satellite.
Yeah. Right.
That's Halley's Comet. That's not going to be back for another 100 years. I'm like,
I didn't see it last time it came, so I have no. It's like your grandparents telling you remember someone that you don't. You're like, I wasn't alive.
it's like, and the thing with Halley's Comet, unless it's going to hit us, I don't really care.
Yeah. By the way, let me know if it is.
Yeah, let's say if you're saying to me that's going to hit Earth in 60 years, I'm like, okay, I want to clock that. I want to.
This is an obscure story, but I stayed with a jewellery maker in Wales years ago. Only Wales, who lived in a shed separate from the rest of his family. And they put us up.
Very Robin Bain.
Sharing over there. Very Robin Bain. Because he was out in his shed making jewellery all the time. And an entire series of jewellery that he made was based on conversations he had with Halley's Comet.
Okay.
Yeah.
He talks to it, did he?
He talked to it, and it talked back. And it told him...
What sex was it?
Makes...
Did he tell you? Or was it just...
Had a masculine
asexual?
energy, the way he described
right,
it.
okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to misgender Halley's Comet.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I wouldn't want you to be cancelled due to misgendering Haley.
No.
What's Haley? That's the thing.
I think this dude's called Haley.
Yeah, okay.
I think. Anyway, made millions of dollars off the jewellery that he made off the back of that. So, yeah.
Back of his conversations, but
Yeah, the red mole is what he goes by. This either happened or it didn't, and
he in jail?
I can't remember.
is he in jail now?
I don't know.
He sounds like he should be with Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile.
No. He's a good man, the red
okay.
mole. He had some of the strongest hashish known to man.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly. Either that or it never happened. I don't know. But I have a memory, and I've got a friend who has the same memory. Look up the red mole and have a look at some of his jewellery. All right, before I relapse into some sort of psychosis, let's knock this on the head. We'll be back tomorrow for another Half-Baked Sports Idea on a Wednesday.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.